Hey everybody, welcome back to another Baldies Deliberations. This is a big one, actually a short one, but it's a big one. It's the Prestige. This is the Baldy that people want to win. If anyone wants to win a Baldy, best drama.
Let's not fool ourselves. Come
on. Hey, Carrie Coon once acknowledged her win in a tweet. This is this qualifies for a major award. Again, as I've said in the beginning of all these, this is not the end product. If you're looking to see the actual Baldies, it's the award ceremony. It'll be the one where we're wearing tuxedo T-shirts and there'll be fancier production. But if you do care to see, what mistakes were made, what triumphs were had behind the scenes, how Jim and I arrived at this, feel free to give it a listen. If not, check out the award ceremony. It should be linked in the show notes or the video description below. This is a weird year. Normally to be a Baldy, you have to have premiered between the January 1, 2020 and December 31st, January 2020. We're somewhat relaxing it this year because we did do some archival stuff that was pretty big, like The Walking Dead. So like if we covered it in this calendar year, I think it was eligible. And then we didn't follow that rule over on the movie side, kind of, sort of. So we're big hypocrites. This is, again, fake award show. If you disagree, there was polling. You got no one to blame for it but yourself. So yeah, let's get right to it. Right to the blood sport. I suggest we just do the send it to the top, send it to the bottom float, and just get all the way through this because I think this is gonna sort fast.
Okay. For the people in the
we should read
back
it through.
seats,
we should read it through. Yeah.
People in the cheap seats on the podcast. I'm gonna read all the entries here. Here's everything we watched for drama this year: Altered Carbon season 2, The New Pope season 1 or season 2, depending on how you define that show.
If it's the young Pope, it's season 2. If it's the new Pope, it's a stand. Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Sure.
Series 2.
Star Trek Picard season 1, Star Trek The Next Generation season 1 and season 2, Better Call Saul season 5, Dark season 3, Kingdom season 2, Devs, it's just Devs, Westworld season 3, Ozark season 3, The Plot Against America, The Walking Dead season 9, The Good Lord Bird season 1, Raised by Wolves season 1, The Umbrella Academy season 2, The Expanse season 5, The Mandalorian season 2, Fargo season 4, The Boys season 2, The Third Day, and Lovecraft Country.
All right, there's the contestants. Best of luck. Let's start at the top. Altered Carbon to the bottom.
I watched exactly one episode of this, and I never went back to it. And I feel like everybody I associate with said the exact same thing. Not that they only watched one, but that it was not worth watching.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we're not saying the show's trash, okay? Like, a lot of people sometimes take high umbrage when we're like, say it's not worth watching. What we mean is, like, for our tastes and our time constraints, it's not worth watching. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of great shows that I like that you probably think is trash. I've been watching a lot of a dude just sitting in the woods whittling sticks lately. Is it worth watching? No, but I fucking love it. It's my number one television right now, a YouTube channel. So like, yeah, personal choice, personal taste, all that stuff.
Sure.
Star Trek Picard. Oh no, The New Pope. Send it to the top where it already is.
I'm just gonna call this The New Pope.
Yeah.
To get rid of that season 1 and 2 stuff.
If you know it, you love it, and if you don't, search for it by name. Also, go back to the Young Pope first. Watch it because it's a treat, and you really will enjoy the New Pope better if you see the Young Pope first. Kind of like a new Coke classic situation.
How about Star Trek Picard?
Float it.
Okay.
It's already it's not. I mean, it's a good show, but like I already know it's not going to go over the New Pope, so let's just leave it float at number 2 right now.
We'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah. Star Trek Next Generation seasons 1 and 2.
Okay. I think this is disqualified. We did not do a podcast on this. We live watched this. I don't think any other thing we've ever live watched and not done a podcast has ever been. It's a hell of a lot of fun. If you don't know, every Sunday night on twitch.tv/baldmove at 8 p.m. we watch a few episodes of Star Trek and then some other sci-fi stuff. Sci-fi Sundays. It's a great It's a great time. You need zero experience of Star Trek to join in because it's a episodic, so old school episodic show. Just come on in. You'll get the jokes. You'll get the memes. It's fun. So, but it is disqualified for Baldies consideration.
Okay.
Is there? Hey, I will say this. Like, maybe we should do one more deliberation where we like go through the categories and think of anything we fucked up. Like, can we not get Can we not get like the Sci-Fi Sundays into some kind of biggest surprise or?
Oh boy, you want to relitigate all of it?
I'm saying all of it. Just like one stream where we go through and make sure, like, hey, did we leave anything? Now that we've gone through everything, did we leave anything out? And we'll still leave something out, but. Anyway.
Yeah, like Supermarket Sweep isn't on this list.
Pawn Stars. Oh my god,
that's drama of the highest degree.
Survivor Man finding out his fucking inflatable boat was bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah. Good times. Good
that
times.
episode was bullshit.
Wednesdays back going.
I don't like that one.
It was a bad one. It was bad show.
I think this needs to go to the top.
To the top. I mean it's everybody's like. It was Alan Sepinwall's consensus number one.
Yeah, it was real strong this year.
Seemed to have a good time. Dark Season 3 to the top, baby.
Okay, can do that. Kingdom Season 2. Oh boy, I don't remember much of Kingdom Season 2.
Me either.
I remember more about 1 than 2.
Korean Darth Vader got killed. The prince's man-at-arms turned out to be a backstabbing traitor who redeemed himself through death at the end.
Yep.
Holding
the door. He hodored him.
Yeah. Yeah, the queen/princess is like the real evil deal behind the throne.
There was something about the was there like a baby heist in this one? I can't even remember.
Oh yeah. There's fake babies going on, false pregnancies hidden by stealing peasants, and retainers' children, and murdering the mothers and babies that are essentially daughters. There's a lot of like, but I really enjoy this show, and it's gripping, and it's compelling, and it's well done. I did feel like the season 2 felt a little bit anticlimactic after season, like especially the first few episodes have like these giant inventive battles and crazy stuff happening, and then it sits in for some like mostly political intrigue and kind of slowed down. I don't know if that they can keep the freshness and originality, because the other thing is like a lot of things that made season 1 really pop is like no one knew what the zombies were doing and capable of.
Yeah.
Now we know a lot more.
Did they do another twist on the zombies? Because I thought
they did.
We thought it was light at first, and then it turned out to be cold,
heat and cold, and there was another like there's another thing too. But like that's the thing.
It was a long time ago.
Of retaining this, yeah. So
it feels like a lifetime.
Do you think that Kingdom has a plausible shot at dethroning Picard? Because that's its competition right now. It's not going to sniff the other 3. Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for Narek,
Picard's a lot more memorable, but I'm a lot more. Yeah.
Because I remember really liking a lot of Kingdom. I just can't remember all of it.
Plus, the hat game just continued to be next level. Like,
oh yeah,
they went all fucking out at some of the dangly bits and the hoops and the arrangements of top knots and things. Like this is a iconic style show.
For sure.
So that brings us to devs to the top.
To the top. And then Westworld season 3.
To the top. It's going to get punished for its temerity, but it's
yeah. Don't
needs
get too
to be a conversation
up there.
Yeah. Ozark. I gotta. recuse myself from this deliberation.
I'm gonna throw it to the top. We'll see what happens with it, but I really like Ozark. It might be in the bag for Ozark. The Plot Against America.
To the top, baby.
To the top. Okay. It's David Simon. How could it not go to the top?
Got to.
To
the surprise of many, I think it needs to go to the top.
I'm going to float it somewhere in the middle.
What?
I just can't. Okay. We'll put it second from the top. It can never be at the very top.
Okay, that's fair.
I couldn't respect myself tomorrow if I let that happen.
That's fair. Good Lord Bird. I still haven't finished the last episode, but it needs to go to the top.
Okay.
And I don't think it will, because I only have one host pulling for it, and I haven't finished it, so I don't think it's going to probably even get the top 5, but it needs to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Raised by Wolves, man. I'm not quite sink to the bottom, but I did not to the top, and float I think is fine. It might be better than Picard.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish it, so I don't know.
Here's
Umbrella
one
Academy.
I actively didn't finish because I ended up very strongly disliking it.
Yeah, you and Seppenwall too. I made it to like 2 episodes that go to the end, and then you said that it never redeemed itself, and Seppenwall hated it, so I stopped watching it too, because I wasn't ever that into it. I was watching because Cecily liked it. I think Cecily did finish it. It's okay. It's okay.
I liked a good chunk of it, but it kind of petered out, and then also it just went to crazy places that weren't. I don't know, just weren't fun for some reason. Yeah. The reveal about their father, which I won't spoil here, but about the nature of their father is just, it's gonzo. It's completely bananas. And I checked out. I turned it off right after that scene, actually, because it was so ridiculous and dumb.
Lots of style, not a lot of substance. I think I kind of wish if we were on one subversive, I guess if we had room for 2 subversive superhero things and dark comedies in our library, I think we should have picked Doom Patrol and shot and jettisoned Umbrella Academy, because it's got I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit better, but yeah, fuck the Umbrella Academy. The Expanse, guess what?
To the top.
To the orbit of Uranus. Past the moon, past asteroid belt. We're in the outer planets now, baby. OPA forever. Fargo season 4 2. Oh, wait. We skipped Mando.
Oh, well, we'll get there. Oops. Just completely botched the screen here.
Mandalorian strapping on the jetpack going to the top.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
we just completely inverted the order of the deck. I think
we did. As the year went on, the shows got better, apparently.
Yep. Okay. If you are listening on the podcast, what Jim did is took The Boys, The Third Day, and Lovecraft Country. He saw where the trend was going. He took them all the way to the top.
To the top.
So now we play the game of that. Everything's roughly sorted by quality. Now we bubble sorted it. Now we go through and say, is this thing better than that thing? And up front, it's a tough one because you got 2 very different things. The Boys and The Third Day. In fact, The Boys could be easily classified as a comedy. Some of these things could, in which case they'd go and slaughter the comedy section, but we didn't.
Yeah.
The Boys or Third Day. I say The Boys. I can't in good conscience give The Third Day the best Baldies, not having seen half of it. And I thought The Third Day was an amazing artistic thing. Again, I didn't see half of it, but not nearly as much fun as The Boys.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on The Boys. I would put it above Third Day.
Okay.
Real impressed with what they did with that 24-hour live stream, but The Boys was relentlessly entertaining, surprising,
and got kind of good and deep at the end, which I didn't see coming.
Yeah, and it's timely too, So, yeah, I'm with you. It's good.
Is Lovecraft Country better than The Third Day? I say yes. Do you have anything to add? I think the completion factor and the fun factor is really going to hurt The Third Day, because The Third Day is not fun to watch. It's kind of an ordeal.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of it.
Yep.
I agree.
It's mortifying.
I send Lovecraft Country to the top. I think that's where it currently belongs.
Whoa. Really?
You disagree? Think The Boys is better than Lovecraft Country?
Better?
I will say Lovecraft Country surprised and challenged me more than I thought it would.
It's important, Cares, but like I will say that I think the Lovecraft Country is more uneven. There was like 2 episodes in like the early middle going that I'm like almost lost interest in the show. Like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't like the really gonzo Lovecraft stuff. It wasn't like the thoughtful kind of, you know, anti-racism stuff. It's just kind of like, you know, national treasure. And it kind of, I felt like it was in danger of losing its way. And then they kind of got it back. But there's a couple things I felt like still kind of bugged me. Like, they rescue this 400-year-old Indian princess or something from some pirate ship and then just kill her 5 seconds later for no reason and never went anywhere. No one ever acknowledges it. Like, what the hell happened? Like, it's just one of the many fucking crimes of Atticus's dad. Is his name Montrose? I don't know, some weird stuff. I thought Lovecraft Country was messy and uneven, but very, you know, very fun, well acted, well produced, and again, like you said, challenging in a fun kind of like, just holding up something. What do you think about it? I'm kind of with you. I remember liking that episode where the daughter is being chased by couple of demon ghosts, Raggedy Ann dolls.
Yeah, I remember going, oh man, this is really creepy, this is weird.
Some great body horror.
I liked it, but I didn't know that it fit in with like it fits in thematically because the whole thing is about racism, and this is more of that. But like they don't do really anything with it. You know, that the character of the daughter almost could have been left out if not for her drawings, her comic books. That kind of comes back around, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like they were giving her a storyline because she needed one, as opposed to like her being an integral part of the show.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, okay, well, let's move this down one and see how we feel about it toward the end.
Yeah, I think we go through another pass because like you kind of persuaded me about because the boys like, the boys tackle stuff too. In terms of politics and stuff. And yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Like that would be freshly resonant with what's happened in the last month or so.
Yeah.
We need to definitely be further deliberations on that one. Mando. Here's the thing. I've seen all of Mando. Mando finished strong. Mando finished so strong it birthed 10 other series.
I don't know that I've ever seen a show finish that strongly.
Yeah, and it gave you like if you were, like in for the like Saturday morning fare and you're a 44-year-old with your bowl of cereal in your lap and Luke fucking Skywalker shows up at the end of this shit and wrecks shop, like outdoes his dad from the Rogue Squadron. Oh, by the way, spoilers for most of this, for almost all this stuff. Yeah, put a huge smile on my face. I don't think it can get higher than Lovecraft. But
and they announced a whole new show at the very end of it. Like, like they do with Marvel, they put a stinger on the end and it was just what we think is a whole new show about Boba Fett. So,
and speaking of Boba Fett was fucking awesome this year. Yep. I like it. And I don't think it gets higher than Lovecraft Country. But it easily throws a third day into the cryo freezer, the carbon freezer.
Yeah. I mean, it's primarily just there to have a little fun. So yeah, it's not going to rise too high. Fargo, season 4.
Do I put that above the third day?
This is messy. I have a hard time putting it above the third day because the third day is a lot more cohesive.
Yeah, but what if the second half of the third day sucks? Like,
yeah, fair, but
here's the thing. Here's the thing about Fargo and how messy and kind of like, what is this even a thing? It was. it's a conversation that like a show we half watched is kind of like handling Fargo. And the thing is like I also wonder what would happen if Fargo came out and we didn't have like The Boys and the Lovecraft Country, especially Lovecraft Country, which was doing a lot of the work that Fargo was trying to do in a much more confident, manner. And I don't know whether that's like, the difference between Noah Hawley writing and directing all this stuff versus, black showrunners and directors writing and directing stuff. Although the novel The Lovecraft Country is based on is written by a white dude. So,
right.
But, the showrunners adapting that, we know how important that is. And having that like authentic voices and pain in there, I thought elevated it. And Fargo, a little bit antiseptic with the same material. I think
and
it goes
we didn't
over
like a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
They kind of neglected their quote unquote main character for 90% of that show and then tried to spin her as a main character anyway.
And the casting was just a bitch in this one, man. Like, I think there was like 3 people completely miscast.
Yeah. Some of the casting was amazing. Some of it was just.
Yep.
It may be quirky for quirky's sake, but it didn't work.
Yep.
So
I put it above Third Day.
Really?
You don't think so?
No.
How are you going to defend the fact that the Third Day, you haven't even seen half the Third Day and you're saying that Fargo gets beat because it's uneven? Like, if we had stopped watching Fargo at episode 5, we'd have a completely different opinion of it. Because that's right when Dr. Senator got waxed and we were like, oh, fuck yeah, on gang war heating up. We just didn't know
I've seen 27 hours of the Third Day. I think I got a pretty good opinion on the Third Day.
That's the thing. This damn 24-hour fucking
It's the
marathon.
live stream, That live stream they did kind of breaks the equation here for a lot of these things, breaks the formulas.
All right. Well, I don't love Fargo enough to fight you over it, so we can leave it there.
And I doubt it's even going to make the top 5 anyway. Either of those shows. So
Expanse fucks up Fargo completely. Third Day leaves it in the dust. Better than Mandalorian. I like it better than Lovecraft Country. I like it better than The Boys.
Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue.
You can put it between Boys and Lovecraft if you want.
Let's just throw it in there and have that conversation. Because
here's the thing. We haven't finished. We haven't finished The Expanse. We have one more episode to go.
And it will be out, 2 days after
finale episodes.
We record our ceremony, so we can't really wait on this thing.
And there's a little bit of blood in the water because like none of the last 2 or 3 episodes have been bad, but I've had questions. I've had questions that have been unresolved, and it's not like I don't think the finale makes or breaks the season, but it could certainly cement it as a number 3 or number 4 Baldy. Or I mean number 1 or number 4. Like it could go either number 1 or number 5. I don't think it falls lower than that, but yeah.
Let's get a little sloppy toward the end in some of those stories, but
I wish. While you're talking about the other stuff, I'm going to go and see if we've got access to the.
Well, I can't talk about the other stuff because it's the Good Lord Bird.
Oh,
that's all you, man.
Well, I'm not. You're not going to fight me putting it above Fargo, are you?
The Good Lord Bird? No.
Yeah. I don't know that it can go. The thing is like, here's the thing, like...
I know, you didn't see the 24-hour stream.
Right, and you didn't see any of the Good Lord Bird, so it's like, who gets to win this fight? Because I want to put it above the Third Day. You might be like, well,
do you want to put it above Mandalorian? Because if not, we can group these together and see if they even get to the top 5, because ultimately it might not matter.
That's the thing, I just haven't... Man, I haven't finished it. I can't put it above Mandalorian, not having seen it.
Okay.
So...
it doesn't matter.
I'm just bluffing. See.
Okay, I also can't talk about this next one, so I guess stop doing whatever you're doing.
The Plot Against America. Wait, I thought you saw. I saw
one episode.
Oh, you only saw the first episode. Yeah. Okay, it's better than Fargo. It's better than The Third Day. It's better than Good Lord Bird. It's better than The Mandalorian.
How high can it go?
It's having a hard time getting over that Lovecraft Country leap.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. If things had gone a little differently in the last 3 months, I might be saying required viewing for understanding but like it didn't. So, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can.
How high can The Walking Dead season 9 realistically
We
get?
have access as of right now to the finale episode of the Xbox. Yeah, baby. Episode 10 Nemesis games.
All right, we might have to revisit all these categories in a final round.
Well, I'm absolutely watching it as soon as we get off here, and I'm
that's
ready
for premium members
ready to
only.
revisit.
No, I'm kidding.
We're gonna live screen this thing, yeah. Embargoed until 2/3, you say? Is that real?
Okay.
Oh, that's just next week. Yeah, I was like February. That's like a month away from now.
Oh man, it's coming real quick. Walking Dead season 9. Here's the thing. How high can this realistically get?
Oh my god, I gotta shut this down. All right.
Yeah,
sorry.
don't. You're just gonna start watching it in the background, aren't you?
Yeah.
How high can this get since this is an old season? It's not season 10, which came out last year.
Okay, I'm gonna say something shocking. I put this at number 4.
Good God.
Maybe number 5.
You thought this was better than The Mandalorian?
Yeah. I mean, there's more of it.
Oof.
It was more adult. Like, here's the thing. Like, it was adult. It had genuine, like, stakes and emotion in a way that Mandalorian kind of struggles to do, because I just never, you know, like, because
the main character doesn't have a face.
He's not gonna have a face. He's never gonna die. Baby Yoda's gonna be fine. Like, they're gonna put him in danger, and he's gonna look really pathetic in his little tiny little force manacles, and we're gonna feel sorry for him, but he's gonna be okay. And like, whereas Walking Dead kind of put the fear of God back into me, that like a lot of characters that I really liked, ended up with their heads on pikes.
Fist
and
bump. It's a shame.
The villain was good. The redemption arc for Negan was good. Daryl and Carol's stuff was good. Carol and Ezekiel stuff was good. The love quadrangle rhombus they had going on with, I don't know, 4 different, like, Father Gabriel and Eugene and Rosita and the new guy, the medic. I can't. Sadi? No.
Yeah. Sadiq, I think.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
I can't believe I know. Here's the thing. I can't believe I know these characters' names. And like, plus, it was so much fun getting Alan Joe out to test drive for a little bit and cause a little bit of mayhem in the feed.
I will say, I think our Renaissance Festival was better than theirs. The Renaissance Festival, a little bit of a disappointment, but we may have hyped it up in our heads a little too much.
Yeah.
To be fair.
No lies detected here. I think it's, I think it goes like in the 5 spot, maybe the 4 spot, especially since you didn't watch the plot of the Plot Against America, motherfucker.
That's true. I mean, I can't judge it. It definitely doesn't belong.
Go 4. We can fight later. We can fight later. I'm just causing some drama in the delibs so that we can get the people talking. Oh,
here we go. Ozark season 3. I don't remember anything that happened in Ozark season 3.
You raise it until I say bullshit. And then that's the game we'll play.
Oops. Let me look some of this up.
Wikipedia. This is looking bad, Jim. It's looking bad. You remember nothing. Nothing about this season or show.
Look, I didn't remember anything about Kingdom either. And that was a perfectly good show.
Yeah, and look at it, languishing at 16.
Okay, so this is the one where they're getting investigated. They got the investigator in the casino. And she's trying to figure everything out. And Ruth is getting fed up with shit.
This?
Oh, her crazy boyfriend guy. Right. Yeah. No, we didn't do a podcast on this, I don't think. Does it get eliminated? Is that what happens here?
I mean, like, not even an OTC.
It's her brother, Helen's brother. Right. I like this season a lot. But no, I don't think we did a podcast, because Cecily and I did a podcast for season 2.
I'm not saying you have to eliminate it.
I don't think we ever got to this.
Where would you put it, I guess? Honestly,
it's tough because I don't remember a lot of it. I mean, I read some Wikipedia or, IMDb synopses, but I don't have like that visceral memory of it. So it's tough to say. I'll leave it where it is. I don't think it's going to hit the top 5 anyway.
because I would believe, I guess it's like I have zero problems advancing it to number 8. But going much higher than that, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, I certainly enjoyed it more than Fargo season 4, but like I said, I don't think either of these are staying in the top 10. So who cares? Westworld season 3. What do you know?
Okay. Westworld was a tale of two shows. One show was emotionally rudderless, a slick sci-fi action show that couldn't sell slick sci-fi action. Another show had really kind of like next level ideas on where it could go in terms of story. Like you could be dealing with like, you know, Earth 10,000 AD next season and wouldn't blink an eye with like high stakes, like, you know, discussions of like what is real and what is destiny and what is fate and what is even the perception of time. And those two halves were at war with each other all season. Actually, the first half was winning the day for the first 3 seasons, the first 3 episodes. And then I think gradually the second more confident half. And this also feels like, God damn, it just feels like season 2 and 3 should have been in one single unit with like they, you know what, season 3 and 2 and 3 should have been season 3 of The Expanse, where they were wrapping up the story that was too much for season 2. And then they told and very rapid fire, high stakes, the other story they did and smash it together. Westworld went the other way and tried to make a meal of both of those halves, and it just it kind of twisted in the wind.
Yeah,
do you agree with that, or do you think that's like kind of right on? Or
yeah, I'm with you. I think it did have this split personality that, you know, it's strange to see a show that executes at such a high level in some things and such a low level in other things. It's like, you know, they hired all the right people for certain aspects of it and then just maybe didn't hire anybody for some others. But the show ends up feeling, and maybe this is intentional, but it feels very artificial. It feels very like,
that could actually be
sterile. Like the emotion is not there. I'm not feeling anything from any of these characters. And I don't know if it's because they're playing robots so well, or maybe a little too well, maybe a little too non-human. But I don't know. The show wants to think that it's playing these robots as very human, and yet I'm not getting that feeling, that empathy that I should be feeling for these characters. And maybe it's a case of dialogue. Maybe it's a case of just the other stuff they're doing is getting in the way of that. But yeah, I don't find myself watching these episodes and coming away with, ooh, that was a great story. I come away with, that's an interesting concept. That's an interesting idea that I could talk about for a little while on a podcast. But I don't know. Those aren't my favorite type of shows, typically.
I tell you what, it put Jennifer Getzinger on the map for me. That's the director that finally figured out how to fucking direct action on Westworld. They forgot how from the end of season 1 till like episode 6 of season 3. But she brought it back strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from her. Okay. I think, having said all that Westworld is just below Good Lord Bird, maybe between Good Lord Bird and Mandalorian. It's not trash.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's better than season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have the showcases like, you know, Akichida and the Maeve episode. It doesn't have like those big standout moments, but the lows were so fucking low in season 2, and it was such a mess of a season. Season 3, you know, at least is a little more understandable. So yeah, I guess I'm okay with it moving up there.
Yeah, and I kind of have to put over Good Lord Bird because, like, I don't know, I can't imagine a Good Lord Bird falls off so hard, because it got pretty high in a lot of people's lists of best of the year. But like I have not seen the last episode, and that's just a personal bugaboo of mine. Like I really have a hard time with some of these that we haven't seen all of.
Like the Expanse.
Except for the Expanse. Because we're gonna see that rest of that, and it's gonna go to the moon, baby.
Oh boy! Right. Look at this
Devs,
show,
boy.
Devs.
Strap on thrusters.
Yeah. Did this even come out this year? I don't think it did. I think we just talked about it this year.
Oh no! I think no. Devs came out like in February of this year or of last year. Really? I think so. Yeah, March 5th, 2020. Like we essentially started covering it the week after it closed, I think.
Nice. I really enjoyed Devs. I think it was better than Westworld, even in the conceptual department.
It's easy rockets above Westworld. I think it might go right below 3 Lovecraft Country. Because it just quite wasn't as emotionally. It was a lot more a cerebral experience than an emotional experience. Not that it was like I did get especially some of the stuff with Nick Offerman and his daughter and Lily and her going through her grief and just like how fucking mind fucked and gaslit they tried to do this lady and her single handedly fighting back with especially since she's very exponentially hard to fight people that know roughly what happens in the future.
Yeah. You end up playing right into their hands.
Yeah. Like Devs is 10 times what Westworld was in terms of just like navel gazing philosophical discussions about the nature of reality.
Yeah.
And multi dimensions and etc. So
and it doesn't really hold your hand too much either.
No.
There are a lot of like terms they use to describe concepts that they'll explain the concept kind of in some dumbed down terms or layman terms, but maybe once, and it might be a little bit quicker. It might be a higher level explanation than you're ready for, and then they just move on and just refer to it as this principle or that principle. Right. And they kind of expect you to keep up. And I know that if I wasn't doing a podcast on it, I'm not sure I would have kept up because I had to stop the show and go look up like, okay, which of these is which when it comes to like multiverse theory and all that stuff.
Right. But see, here's the thing is like, I suspect that you don't actually have to do that. If you just let the show wash over you, they give you that background that you, and it might even be more fun than not. But it reminded me like, there's a couple things like, what is it like the immortality paradox is out there? That wasn't it that Choose Your Own Adventure Netflix show. Was that Bandersnatch?
Or that is one. Yeah, Bandersnatch.
Was it okay? They did that too, where they're like, hey, the multiverse is real. You can just throw yourself off this balcony and you won't die.
Yeah,
like collapse away for them, and all the ones and you'll experience and like they do a really
throw yourself
thoughtful
off the
version.
balcony, or at least I do. And your game ends, right? That verse ends, and you've got to choose your own adventure into another verse.
Yeah. And I feel like it ends 99.9% of the time, and the 0.1% it doesn't. You have broken every bone in your body, so significant brain damage. Like, congratulations, you're immortal. But they do a really thoughtful version of some of those gags that, like, because I think people are starting with Rick and Morty and not that Rick and Morty blazed the trail. Rick and Morty just kind of like reignited the interest in some of these really high end kind of time travel things, stuff that Primer had been fucking around with. And it's a really kind of confident and my God, Alex Garland, the visuals.
Yeah,
we haven't really talked about just the next, like the first episode with this giant dead-eyed baby doll standing in the middle of the woods, like 300 foot tall, and how they use that when Sergey, is that was her boyfriend's name, lit himself on fire, and it looked like then like Nick Offerman standing in front of these halos, making him look like this kind of like hacker Jesus. All the device itself was so beautiful.
Yeah, the screen, the way that's all portrayed with these, sort of dots coming together. The facility itself is beautiful. There's all glass.
The sound design.
So yeah, the sound is amazing. Score.
It's a real treat. It's a real treat if you have a nice television and sound setup. And even if you don't, it's just like, every frame of painting, like almost all of them are just perfectly saturated and exposed and lit, and it's good. It's good stuff. So
yeah, man, I feel like this belongs higher, but
yeah, but I don't think there was also, this was a remarkably consistent show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt like you were really taking a chapter of a really good novel, and there wasn't one that kind of like, oh, what the fuck was that episode trying to do? At least I don't remember it that way. Whereas I've argued that Lovecraft Country did have a couple stretches where they lost their way, and it's more of it's a weird anthology kind of season, like it's almost like episodic,
mm-hmm.
Like old school X-Files. And the central storyline of the Braithwaite's eternal struggle against the Freeman family suffered because of that. The black oil and bee stings plot. I found a hard time like really following that, and then in the last two episodes, it became all about that kinda. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got to remember the spell book and this thing, and like, oh, this ancestral space. And I actually would put Devs above Lovecraft Country, I think. What do you think?
I would too. I'm almost tempted to put it above The Expanse.
For real?
I haven't seen the last episode of The Expanse.
See the finale. We're going to. We will revisit the shit out of this.
I like everything The Expanse is doing.
It kind of worries me that exactly what's going to happen, roughly speaking, for the end of The Expanse, and you're like, I'm metagaming here, and I feel like knowing what's roughly going to happen and like kind of being like, I don't know if I'd put does that tell me that like The Expanse might have a ceiling here that's a little lower than 1?
I would say that this season finale seems like it's going to be slightly anticlimactic.
Damn.
Because I look at what happens in book 5 and 6 kind of as a whole, and they clearly are not going into book 6 yet, in most regards. So, yeah, I have a hard time thinking that I'm going to come away from the season feeling like, yes, that was exactly what I wanted from the end of all these stories. And I don't feel like I necessarily, like there's a lot left to tell about these stories. I think we're going to kind of leave off in the middle of most of the stories.
Might be another season 2 situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I think like 5 and 6 are kind of meant to be viewed as a pair. We just don't get to view them back to back, unfortunately. But I wasn't really penalizing for that. It's like a lot of these stuff where like they're kind of getting sloppy a little bit at the end. They kind of haven't, if they're not getting sloppy, they haven't explained to us why it's not sloppy. I don't know if we're making too much of it, but things like, Greats not being secured down to the deck in a ship that's clearly just that's gonna be a huge problem. I think everybody's doing great work. Some of the characters are kind of sidelined. I don't think like Amos Alex and Bobby's stuff has been good when it's there, but it's not really there much.
Pretty thin, especially after you got past like the 3rd episode.
Yeah, once you get past the early episodes with Holden, it's kind of just been him flying around, He's been chasing something down. He's been chasing a ship down for 5 episodes or whatever it's been.
The Bull, Holden and Monica show. But now, by the way, what the fuck is going on with Monica? Hey, look. I am insisting. I'm going to watch the show, and because I think that the show that I love The Expanse, and I want to give its best shot or its fair shot to win a Baldy if it can. And I gotta say, like, I've not seen an Expanse finale that has been nothing less than a fucking complete knee slapper, yeehaw type of thing. Even when they're manufacturing an end like they did at the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I guess if like you can put it above The Expanse right now because it was maybe a more, I mean, it was a complete experience, right? Satisfying resolution, but with the big asterisks of we're going to get back to this tomorrow or Monday and clean it up.
And I would also say, like, the devs, we've extolled the virtues of the devs, of the show devs, and I don't want to tear down The Expanse because I love The Expanse. I think it's an amazing show. But is it doing anything that like really stands out to you with the music? Is it doing anything that really stands out to you with like most of its visuals? I mean, there's like
I don't know.
glimpses of like space battles, right? Where that's cool. But like,
I actually kind of disagree. I mean, it's not it's not devs, because devs is kind of like this art film project that's not trying to be anything more than like 8 episodes of fascinating material. But like The Expanse has really raised their game in just the like steady state 0G shit, like bopping around the Tycho station, like all the twists and turns and like the one shotter that they had to like, it's very complicated from an effects and selling it, but the thing, and they're just a lot more consistent with that stuff this year. That's the one thing I've always kind of gotten The Expanse is like, you guys' 0G work is good, but like, man, with like 10% more direct, like people paying attention on set and like coaching the extras. Like they had zero gravity school the way like The Walking Dead had zombie school. From that's 90% of it, and they've done like I'm like they did it this year. They're fucking nailing it. So yeah, I mean it's not like every frame of painting, but that's also not. The Expanse would be really weird. It'd be like a David Lynch version of The Expanse if it was that way. So
no, that's not what The Expanse is. But also I feel like they've what they've added in the sort of like 0G acting and some of the effects work, they've kind of lost in the action scenes, because like there were a few scenes in The Expanse where I was ready and geared up for an action scene. It's telling me, oh, it's on now, right?
Yep.
And every time they ended up kind of skimping on it. They ended up either cross-cutting it with the emotional angle, and only giving us glimpses of the fight, or really not giving us a glimpse at all when like Claire attacks. They just end up doing some blur effect and she's screaming and waving her hands, and it's
blood flies everywhere.
Yeah, it's so much less than I wanted from those scenes.
Although I will say they went for absolute fucking broke in episode 9. The Winnipesaukee episode where they're trying to get to that shuttle, like that.
The shootout.
That was a fucking fire. That was a fight. Yeah, that was a nice, long, satisfying action scene. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong about the other stuff. There's a couple of points where, like, you're spoiling for a fight, and
I think the Expanse's strength is its writing. It's just the characters are so well drawn. And the scenarios that they're putting them in are so like high stakes. You feel them in your bones. You're like, oh, this is a bad situation to be in. How are they ever going to get out of it? And when the solution to the problem comes, it's always far more brilliant than you expected. Or it's exactly what you expected, and it's told in a better way than you could have imagined. That's what The Expanse does really well. And Devs doesn't do as much of that, right? Devs is not like the brilliant character work. Devs is not that sort of thing.
So you want to put the Devs at number 2 for now, because man, we still got some stuff to go. Because I just looked at next up as Dark season 3, and oh boy,
yeah, man, I'm really torn on Expanse and Devs. Can we just do Expanse / Devs? Yeah. Can we make it both?
Let's leave it there. Like I said, I think we should watch the episode and then see what we think. Come back to it.
For sure.
Dark season 3.
Yeah.
This is tough for me because I watched the entire thing like right up, ready to go. I was kind of obsessed with this, and I kept on thinking, like, at the end of every season, like, Christ, how are they going to, like, I had 3 timelines to deal with, and now they got 6. And then going to season 2 to 3, it's like, oh my God, there's like 12 timelines, and now we've got an alternate universe. And then, like, that's some point in season 3, it's like, oh, it's actually a nested Celtic cross of universes and timelines. And like, yet you had to have faith in the show. Like there's a lot, many times where I just had to get used to the feeling of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And not because I didn't pay attention, but because the show hadn't quite revealed itself. And I don't think it cheated. Like, me and Kim went through that thing with a fine tooth comb and we found like maybe one like set design discrepancy where there was like a marble floor of a family tree that had subtly been altered from another family tree that we saw. And we chalked it up as like, well, this was, they figured something fatal in the thing that they couldn't, like you already had the marble floor made and it was like a 3-second shot and fuck it. But like, honestly, there's not a lot of like, with a plot this complex, there's not a lot of missteps and flaws. And just from a, like, I don't know about acting, the visuals were
it's tough
fine.
To tell the acting because it's in a different language.
Get the language barrier and some of the voice over work was not stellar, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I kind of think this goes somewhere in the 2, 3, 4 range.
So I remember having a problem with the ending, but I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I know that I felt like the ending, the problem they were trying to solve was just going to be caused by the solution they had come up with. In one of those timey-wimey ways, right? Yeah. Like their idea was to like destroy their world in order to keep their world from being destroyed or something like that. It was like this Gordian knot kind of thing.
It did lead up to a pretty epic sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I think that's how they resolved that. Like, it's one of those bittersweet things. Like I think one, if not two of the main characters had to die to give everyone else like a shot. Which like I said, I thought was a pretty elegant and, felt very German resolution. In the same way, like a lot of those like Asian epics, like House of Flying Daggers and Crouching Tiger, always somehow end up with the hero and heroine stabbing each other through the stomach or jumping off a bridge. Or it's like, we just don't do happy endings here in Germany. But it's like, this thing was fascinating. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's like, man, if this is a week-to-week show, would have been one of the biggest things of the podcast because people would have gone fucking nuts. Yep. That you had like that between seasons, but the week-to-week speculation, oh my God, if this wasn't Benji, it would have dominated the cultural consciousness for months. But, so what do you think? I mean, it definitely goes up. It's somewhere between 3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5.
Like, to me, it's above Plot Against America, which bumps it out of the top 5. Boo-hoo.
Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that. It's above Walking Dead. I could put it above Lovecraft even, but the thing is Dark. The other thing about Dark is, and I don't know if this should penalize it, but Dark doesn't really say anything about the world. No, it's a self-contained universe, right? Yeah. No, I mean, even Back to the Future says a little bit more. Right? They've got the mayor. You got the black guy sweeping the floors, and then he's the mayor. Like he said, he's like, that's a commentary. Yeah. Like Dark. Like, is there like? There's none of that. I mean, maybe there's intense German political commentary. And it just all goes shoo over my head. But like, there's so much like cheating spouse stuff at the beginning of that show, and then there's like slaps every other episode. The amount of slap-based violence in this show is and just people crazy. Standing in the rain having full-ass conversations. They're wearing raincoats and their hoods are down. Yeah. It's shocking how often that happens. Yeah, that's my people, Jim. We're a grim Teutonic bunch. Apparently. Fucking what are you going to melt? You want us to melt Dr. Jones? No. I don't know. I just cast myself as a Nazi, I guess. Sure did.
Anyway,
Yeah,
my
I'm
branch
with you.
of tree
Lovecraft
got out
Country.
before all that craziness. So
Good.
we immigrated to America to write this. We post Civil War, pre World War II, even one. We just leave us alone.
Oh boy.
What now? Okay,
Better Call
yeah.
Saul.
What are
Season
you gonna do
5.
this one, brother?
I mean, it's up there.
Jim versus Jim.
Jim versus Jim. I mean, I can't in good conscience put it anywhere lower than this, so let's put it there for now. Although I haven't seen
How
Plot
high
Against America.
what's your gut say how high it should be?
I'm
I'm curious to see how, like, did you make an argument for it being better than The Expanse? Better than Devs?
I don't know about The Expanse. I don't know about Lovecraft. I could maybe make an argument. It would be the head versus the heart argument with Dark versus Better Call Saul. Because Better Call Saul, man, it is just an emotional knife in the guts. That entire season. Because this is the season, like every other season before it, where Jimmy and Kim, it all finally comes to a head in their relationship, right? Like,
don't say, really. Did he drive?
Right.
Did he drive away with some AC/DC blaring?
He did. He did. Yeah. No, it's a really, really strong season of a show that I thought only had one season in it. Man, I'm just remembering. I'm looking through some of the descriptions here, remembering all these plot lines. I don't know. I don't know how much to say. Jimmy starts like a cell phone selling business, which leads to just a ton of great scenes. You finally see like the Saul Goodman, the full Saul Goodman wardrobe.
Did the cell phone scam, the burner phone scam?
Well, yeah. He's doing. He's taken that and he's turned it to legal work. So he's given like his cards out to everyone who got phones from him. And so now like all of the people he was giving burner phones to are now his clients.
Which is a huge criminal
exactly.
Like, okay.
And he's running this thing like a carnival, like a literal carnival. He's got a tent. It's got like orange and yellow stripes. He's wearing the clown
Better
suit.
Call Saul,
Better Call Saul stuff.
Plus, he is Saul Goodman. He's
so
operating
good.
as Saul Goodman this season, right?
Yes. That's the other thing. Okay. His business card, is Saul Goodman.
Is now Saul Goodman. Okay.
There's just a real amazing episode where he gets stuck out in the desert.
So this is the flip. Next season's the turn. Then the last season's the river. Is that did I get that poker shit right? The flip, the dip, the river.
Sure.
The shit.
The flop, the flop, the turn, the
flop.
river. Yeah. You got it. I think that's this season. Is the desert one? Did you see the desert one? Because I'm pretty sure that's this season.
I don't know what you mean by the desert one.
He has to drive. Lalo's got his hooks into Jimmy, so Jimmy's got to do him favors, and he has to drive this.
Okay, so
bag
Lalo
out
was
to
like
a
very
meet.
late season, last season. So yeah, this must be all in season 5.
And he's got to drive this bag out to the desert full of cash to pay off somebody to get him out of prison or whatever, and pay somebody off. And he gets stuck out there with Mike, I believe. And he's got to try and they're just walking home, but they're being hunted by the cartel's snipers or some, opposing cartel or whatever. And it's just a really harrowing episode. It's good. And then there's a really good scene at the end where Lalo figures out that Jimmy was lying to him about something that happened during that whole encounter out in the desert, and how Jimmy fucked it up. And they just have this confrontation where nobody's saying what outright that everybody's lying, but Lalo keeps asking, okay, Jimmy, tell me what happened. And he'll tell him. And Lalo will say, okay, tell me again. And there's this few times, and Kim's sitting here on the couch with him, and it's super tense moment, and you can tell that Lalo's not buying it, and he's about to walk out and do whatever cartel guys do when they know that they're being lied to. And she steps in and like says, look, if you think he's lying, just fucking say it, and like just goes off on Lalo, and you're just like, what is gonna happen here? And I forget exactly where they leave it, but it was just a explosive last episode, and it sets up the new season really, really well.
Well,
I don't know, man.
What are you going to do with it? Does it get over the 5 hump?
And then there's the stuff with Kim and whatever financial firm she's working with. I forget the name of it. But she's trying to get their offices set up, and they have an office that they want to build, a new branch that they want to build, but they can't get the land because this old guy doesn't want to sell, but he's already sold. He just doesn't want to leave. And they're trying to force him off the land, and she's making offers. And this guy's played by Corbin Burnson. This just real old codger guy. Maybe I
Corbin Burnson.
No, I might not be thinking of the right guy. What's his name?
I mean, he's an old guy now. I know him as the L.A. Law and the Q's brother from Star Trek.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but you'd know if you saw him. But he won't leave the land, and like Kim's trying to do the best she can to keep the firm from like just kicking him out of his house where he's lived for so many years. But then like she tries her best for this guy, and this guy tells her to go fuck herself at one point, and she just gets pissed off and like turns on the guy, and then it recruits Jimmy to try and shake up the situation and fool them into getting some kind of settlement for him or something. And then Jimmy just takes the ball and runs with it in a way that totally fucks over Kim, just throws her under the bus. And that's like the point where, the relationship finally blows up, but does it? All good questions. I don't know. It's a fantastic season, man. It's just so tense all the way through. I don't know. If you like Better Call Saul, I'm sure you loved this season. I don't know where it goes. Maybe there, maybe slightly higher, maybe one higher, but
well, that's the case. So
we both saw Dark.
We're gonna have to recalibrate this before we're done. Maybe move on to the new Pope, because I think it's well, no, we got a couple more. New Pope.
It's going up, right? Somewhere.
Gosh, it might be like my favorite thing this year.
Holy shit. So I didn't see the last episode of this. Still. I've seen like 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10.
But
it was very good from what I saw.
Gosh, it's like like I said, one of the favorite things I saw this year, and I thought we did a really good podcast on it.
It's definitely like one of those art pieces, kind of like Devs, right? It's got a style to it, and it's doing a thing very well, very well.
That's why it's like I kind of feel like it needs to nest maybe right under Devs, but I also would put Expanse above it. But God, I mean, it's the thing is like the stuff that happens on the new Pope are so badass. It's almost like as cool as anything that Amos does, but it's all just like, like stuff on this show is badass. Like when someone like lifts up their Pope skirt and exposes their red slipper for a cardinal to have to kiss in front of like 50 of his mortal enemies. Like John Malkovich gets some fucking dude on a rooftop, and he might fucking throw him off of there, or he might just like make him eat $500 billion of, the Pope's wealth fund or something. Like it's all like these literal Machiavellian plays that take episodes to develop, like these careful plays of power and getting people to commit and extend their necks and then chop them. And it's like, it's kind of it's kind of unfair that like the Expanse can like equal that with like 5 seconds of the Rossi spinning in space, shooting PDC rounds everywhere. But I mean, them's the breaks, man. But it's so fucking satisfying. And
there's
it's
really
beautiful
nothing
and
like
sexy.
it.
There's nothing like it. There really isn't.
Yeah, the style of this show, the Paolo Sorrentino guy, he's an Italian director, and you feel like that essence of being Italian in there, with like the sort of fashion type beauty, and also the sense of humor is in there too. Like you look at Voello, a lot of the time he's
hilarious.
I mean, his character at times is just a joke, right? Like the whole idea that he's got this twin and he's battling against him, and it's just that's a big meta joke about the whole show in ways.
Also, like this show engages in so much stuff in terms of sexuality and sexual exploitation and sexual objectification, and no one ever says shit about it because like that's not even potentially the most offensive thing about it. And like, what is offensive and what is transgressive? And I love it. I love it so much, but I know it's such a weird show. But like I feel like if every bald mover went and watched it, I'd probably 50% of them would hate it, if not more. But my God, like I said, I think it goes like right below Devs, and the only reason it's not over Devs is because you haven't seen the end of it. And I'm just dying to know what you think of it, but it doesn't. You haven't seen the end of it, and you weren't on half of the podcast, and because like I mean, it's an excellent show, and it's I think it goes right below the oh, you already put it there. Okay,
yeah.
We'll have to relitigate this because again, like our top 7 is kind of like a fucking.
I agree. It's a little jumbled at the
right
moment.
now.
We're at Kingdom.
So that brings
2.
us to Kingdom 2. I mean,
remember
where
liking
do you
it,
think?
but nothing really stands out.
Has the Good Lord Bird really fallen to 12? Holy shit!
Yeah,
Mandalorian is clinging to the top 10.
Well, I don't know. We've still got these shows left.
I think we've sorted those though. So I don't think Kingdom goes any higher. I mean, maybe
think
put
so.
it above Fargo.
Picard
like if
doesn't go any higher.
Picard. I mean, if you wanted to, I could put Picard like. I mean, jump it up below Fargo. I mean, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, it's not. Gonna, if it's not going to make top 10, I don't really care about it anymore, and I don't think any of these are going to make top 10.
So we've got our top. So that's the thing.
Yeah, we can still argue about like some of these here.
Yeah, but not the ones below. Like if
you're below 15,
Fargo is certainly the cutoff, and Fargo's not really even in the conversation. Okay. Well, what do we do now, Jim? Like, is The Boys going to be or not? Or like, is this fucking show about whale dicks and?
Yeah, why does that feel wrong to me? It's relentlessly entertaining. It does have some things to say about our society.
You know what? It feels like our commissions thing where we come up with an arbitrary thing of like fun and unique and important and good. And like it is the above average in all those columns. And it's beating the shit out of guys that are like, like shows that have 5, 5, 5, 0.
Yeah.
Like this show just wasn't fun, or it's got it's doesn't really, it's a pedestrian look and feel, but it's killing characters and writing and all that stuff. It's like, that's why, but it also is, I mean, top 5, sure. Number 1, no fucking way. No fucking way is The Boys the number 1 show this year.
Right. I agree with that. In fact,
what do we do with it?
I would slot it no higher than 3 at this point. Like I'd drop it below Devs and New Pope for sure. And then we'd have to start having conversations.
Man, The Boys in the Expanse are really...
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even going to sweat that because I haven't seen the Expanse. I haven't finished seeing the Expanse. So I say you drop The Boys below New Pope.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
But then I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Devs the number 1 show?
God damn, really?
It feels a little too cerebral.
Yeah. I almost feel like we need to. I haven't seen the last episode of New Pope, but I almost feel like swapping those is warranted because New Pope does a lot of things. Devs doesn't really do comedy. The New Pope does comedy. The New Pope does style. Devs does style. Both of them are nailing all of these things. Like I said, haven't seen the last episode of New Pope. So
yeah, I don't think a show can win if you haven't seen all of it and agree. And I also don't know that I'd put the New Pope above Devs. But it sucks because Devs is like one of those things that's like 5, 5, 5, 1 because like on the emotional heart scale, it just didn't. I mean, I don't know. That's maybe not fair because it did a lot of like. God, I remember that like old man fight in the garage and how operatic it was and how like savage in a way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And even the death of Sergei and the resolution of that was like, but it's like I felt things like an archetypal sense, like a Renaissance painting kind of way, not like, oh God, this guy who's getting the life choked out of him is my favorite character in the world.
That you would call that a Renaissance painting type of way because the New Pope has literal Renaissance painting type scenes in it.
Yeah, it sure as shit does, man.
Yeah, I feel what was the character's name? The little short girl, who was like friends with the old dude, one of the devs techs, who was like friends with the old dude, and she there was the scene where she was gonna jump off the bridge and like, does it matter? Like all the multiverse stuff. Yeah. I thought the fun and the comedy that was in that show came 90% from that character, which I really enjoyed. Or really that duo.
Yeah, Lyndon and the other dude.
Old dude whose name I don't remember. Like Angus or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a slightly a name you don't hear a lot, I think.
It did feel like an old timey Kenton. No, Stewart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Not old timey at all. It's a mouse. Yeah, the Stewart and Lyndon show, pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it had those moments for sure. But definitely not as much fun as the New Pope. I think what we need to do here is just move Lovecraft Country to number 3, and we've got ourselves a list. That's how I feel about it. In my gut.
Still at Dev's number 1? I don't know, because I think The Expanse could get to number 1 based on the finale. Because it did have a lot of heart in it, man. Like,
yeah. I mean,
Naomi and her family's doing her family story was fire.
Some great work.
What'd you say? Put Lovecraft Country to 3?
Yeah. And maybe swap Boys and Expanse after that. I don't know. Boys is really damn good.
I think Lovecraft Country for Expanse. Wait. Lovecraft Country over the Boys.
For the podcast people, here's the top 5 we're currently debating. Number 1, Devs. Number 2, New Pope. Number 3, The Boys. Number 4, The Expanse. And number 5, Lovecraft Country.
God, it really stings me like a fissure in my ass that we have not seen the last episode of The Expanse, and
yeah,
and you haven't seen the last episode of New Pope,
right?
Are you sure about the top 5? Like, you don't want to argue harder for Saul?
No, I'm pretty sure about the top 5.
Because it's just like, man, it's a damn. I mean, and also the top 10 we usually shout out, so like they'll get a little bit of attention there. I
just can't see a show here that I would kick out for Better Call Saul. Although I really like Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I think I agree with you there. Do you think
It's tough when you get to this point
Lovecraft
because these are the
Country.
best shows that we saw this year.
Yeah, and I feel like most years I have a clear, like, this is the best show for sure. And this was a lot tougher.
All I know, the only feeling I get looking at this is that Lovecraft Country is too low.
Yeah. But
I don't know. Let me move it up and see.
so you
how
switch
this
Lovecraft Country
feels.
and The Boys. Okay, do you like The Boys better than Expanse?
No, but I don't know how much of that is just like these are my characters.
Here's the thing:
right?
the fact that this is an argument is already kind of mind-boggling because The Boys was just like it's just trash show that I like watching, and somewhere in the second half of season 2, this shit elevated and became like one of my most anticipated shows. And I even think I said it. It's like up there with The Expanse for like most anticipated show, returning show.
Yeah, the writing got even better this season. Not the entire season.
I don't think season 2 The Boys can compete with season 5 of The Expanse for me.
I think you're right.
And that's even without seeing the finale, because I just these characters have 3 more years of development, serious development on them.
I have so much more affection for the crew of the Rocinante than I do The Boys.
The stakes feel frankly higher. Like it's a bigger The Expanse is a quite literally a bigger universe.
Okay. I like that. Oh, shit. Okay. Nope. That didn't do it either. Let's try one more time here. There we go.
And I think The Expanse could rise.
Ho, ho, ho.
But The Expanse nails
so?
if The Expanse nails the ending, it's going up at least one spot in my book. If it could go to the top. It's a threat.
Yeah.
And Jim will watch the final episode of The New Pope and send it to the bottom.
They undo all the great work they did. Yeah, it's tough.
A year after watching the episode, you'll see the finale with zero context. Like, the fuck is going on?
Struggling to think of an episode of The Expanse that I didn't like this season. There really isn't one. Whereas with Lovecraft Country, I can think of, the whole thing kind of threw me for a loop at first.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be one thing, and it turned out to be this other thing, this anthology sort of thing.
I will volunteer that I thought The Expanse was damn near a perfect season until episode 8 and 9, and minor parts of 9. 9 mostly crushed it, but Naomi's little MacGyver plot continues to kind of rankle a little bit. But like I said, that could be completely different.
I think I'm a little numb to the effects of The Expanse because I have read the books, and so I know when all these big events happen, they're not hitting me
almost always
in the same way.
It's almost always downscaled. Yeah, and I remember thinking season 4 clearly, when we were talking about the finale, and I was just blown away by the scope and scale of what was going on in that terraforming station. And you're like, I was kind of disappointed after I read the book and. What the fuck is this guy on about? And then I read the book. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. This is even 10 times bigger than the show could be. So I get that. I totally get that. Yeah.
And it's not even always that I'm having read the books makes me disappointed in what I see. It's just that I've already seen it right in my head. And even if it lives up to the image I have in my head, it's just not going to affect me.
Yeah, the best they can do is meet your imagination. It's going to be very hard for the show to blow it, blow your imagination.
They could surprise me, but I've already had the impact of knowing, the emotional impact of knowing the story up to that point. So it's really hard to blow me away. Whereas I think having not had those beats yet, can kind of get into the moment and say, wow, that was truly excellent. But I don't know. They're also riffing in ways on this show that they don't go down with the books. Amos's character is a lot more complex in the show than it is in the books, I think.
And even I don't think that I Am That Guy line was in the book, and a lot of the season 4 stuff was right out of the book, which was cool. But some of his best moments on the show were things that they were just kind of playing jazz with on the show.
Yeah, and then season 5
yeah.
for Amos has been like 95% exactly from the books. It's probably the closest he's ever been, except maybe in season 4 to the books, except for the stuff about the monsters, except for his interactions with Claire are a little deeper in the show, as I recall anyway. Indeed. So it's also expanding my experience with The Expanse, which I think is cool. And yeah, Lovecraft Country has a couple of negative surprises for me. I just wasn't feeling an episode or two, whereas I can't say the same of The Expanse.
Okay. Well, I'm content to leave this now for a top 5, and with if new shit comes to light when we watch Expanse later tonight, then we can come and revisit it.
Sure.
But yeah, so we got Dev's number 1. Oh man, it's wild. I didn't think that would happen. 2, the new Pope. It's kind of also crazy that the new Pope also was like pre-pandemic days.
Yeah,
we were watching that, just getting ready for the Australian wildfire relief Groundhog Day thing. But like Dev's number 1, new Pope 2, The Expanse 3 with a asterisk, 4 Lovecraft Country, 5 The Boys, and then rounding out the top 10 to Dark season 3, 6 Better Call Saul season 5, 7. You sure that shouldn't be? You wouldn't flip Dark for that?
It's not gonna hit the nominees. I might, but it doesn't matter.
8 Plot Against America, 9 The Walking Dead season 9. Pretty good, pretty big cheat, but yeah, whatever. And 10 The Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah, I think if Dark was number 5 and Better Call Saul was number 6, I would start arguing for Better Call Saul to hit number 5. But if it's not going to make the nominee list, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There we go. Best drama. It's going to be Devs. Seems clear, unless The Expanse pulls out a real expansicle.
We'll see.
Pulls out the protomolecule. We'll see what happens.